Welcome to the Sports Daily Early Look, taking you through a look at the features on Roma Cup Day, of course. The Roma Cup being the feature race number 8 on the program, and the 2-year-olds with their final tune-up for the Karrakatta Plate take centre stage as well at Ascot on Saturday. I'm Taylor Cortland, and I'm joined by Digby Beecham once again.
A very good morning to you, TC. Looking forward to dissecting these three features out there at headquarters on the weekend.
Cracking days racing.
Outstanding, cannot wait.
We'll kick it off with a look at race number 6 on the program, the Amelia Park Perth Stakes for the Geldings and Colts. Taking a look at the markets, Snow Prince is at $3.40 at the top of the market at the moment. A lot of banter, in fact, at $3.80. Ripcord at $4, Home James at $7.50, and at $11 is On Patrol. As we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, it's always fraught with danger trying to map a 2-year-old race.
Yeah, it certainly is. You would think a lot of banter from Barrier 1, though, given the yard he emanates from, and also with his racing pattern, what we saw on debut, he would be in a very prominent position. Interestingly, though, what do they do with Home James? Because I think as a 2-year-old, he's one of the better boys we've seen, and maybe the boys need to elevate to take on the girls in a fortnight's time. He did show really good gate speed second up to get into a 1-1 position, Brad, aboard Home James, and from there he was able to win. He was probably looking for the paddock at his next start, but he's a horse who intrigues me.
I thought Snow Prince would get a beautiful run from gate number 4. Home James from the Barry draws, probably the loser, probably has to settle just back of midfield, I think, with an eye towards the Karrakatta, and a lot of banter, like you said, probably settles in the first 3 somewhere there. But to kick it off, we'll take a look at your favourite at the moment, Snow Prince, who the last time we saw him was in the 2-year-old Magic Millions race. Didn't get a lot of luck on that occasion. Had to do it pretty tough in a fast run, 1,200 metres, and was very, very good.
Yeah, he certainly was, and he ran just behind Super SMINK, who was able to take down a pretty handy field. We talk about the fillies being perhaps a little bit better than the boys. Super SMINK, we'll touch on in a second in the GIMCRACK Stakes. She's a good filly, and he was good behind her, you're right. He didn't have a lot of good fortune on that occasion. The start prior on debut, he breezed in what was a slowly run race, and he was able to salute on that occasion. That's got some decent form lines out of it. Odenaka had no luck on that occasion, but has since won. For mine, Barrier 4, 55.5 kilos. He's going to get a lot of favours behind, you would think, horses like a lot of banter, and the debutant Ripcord, who showed electrifying speed in a 400-metre jump out.
So Snow Prince opened at $4.40 into $3.40 at the time of recording. Ripcord opened at $5.50 into $4. A lot of banter's been the drifter slightly, did touch $4.20, but now back into $3.80 after opening your favourite. Can I pose you this question? There's a small question mark over the form of a lot of banter, with Twist of Gold running 3rd.
Yeah, that's probably fair. And the figures out of that win were solid without being brilliant. So he's a watch for me, but you know where he's going to be in the run. One thing I will say with a lot of banter, he does drop 1.5 kilos, and that win was off no trial. We didn't see him trial again after he was seen last on the 19th of December. So you'd think he'll take some fitness from that recent win.
Ripcord, $4.
What do you do? What do you do with him?
I didn't think it'd be $4.
It's juvenile speed, isn't it? He's a written by gelding out of a not a single doubt mare. So it's 2-year-old juvenile speed, and we saw that when he bolted in that 400-metre trial, running 23.84. Like, that's from a standing start. That's a good gallop, and he won that trial by 4.5 lengths. Hasn't been around the corner yet. In a race, he hasn't raced, so we haven't seen him around the corner in a trial. Is he going to be able to lead a lot of banter? If not, can he breeze and win? The market says he's going to be very competitive.
Well, a horse like Bolt has shown a little bit of speed at the trials as well, so I think there's a little bit of top-end pressure in the race. I'll just quickly mention one other horse, On Patrol. I think a horse that has a few quirks. He's not quite put it all together just yet, but I think there's a lot of talent there. There's a nice turn of foot. Maybe looking for the 1,200, but I think at double figures he's one that you can entertain on the back of that augment form, which we'll speak about a little bit later on. But betting strategy for the Amelia Park Perth Stakes, Oz with $40 Snow Prince, and I'll have a little $10 bet on Patrol if you can put it together. I think there's plenty of talent there.
I'm with you in regards to Snow Prince. For mine, he gets a gun run. I'll have $50 straight out Snow Prince.
Well, we're due a big result. Let's put it that way. FURPHY, GIMCRACK Stakes, race number 7 on the program, over the 1100 metres for the fillies at 2.10, Live to Tell, $5 Chrisanova, $7 Super Smink, $8 Augment, and Brave Strike is at $12 at the head of the remainder. This is a cracking edition of the GIMCRACK Stakes. From a speed map point of view, I think one thing that we can bank is Chrisanova's likely to lead this field.
I would have thought so. I thought that she could lead this field. She's probably going to have Twist of Gold to her outside. She's shown some good speed previously, the daughter of Bondi. And those two are going to tend to the speed, and then the others are going to have to find a spot in the run. Augment, off the back of that really, really impressive midweek win on debut, she's going to be settling closer, you would think, than we did see both in the trial and also on debut.
So you think she can sit on the back of the leader?
I think she can sit very, very close to that. Yeah, absolutely. Normally Simon's horses can hold a position. I suspect Charlie Jane can box seat. She showed gate speed, and she couldn't go. Once Live to Tell went, she just was unable to hold a sprint. But I think she was first up, no trial, and she showed enough gate speed. I'd suspect that she can box seat, and then maybe Augment is going to be in that 1-1 position. In saying that, are we expecting a 3-deep line? I am.
Yes, probably. And Live to Tell will probably need one.
Yes, and if she gets one...
If she gets one midfield, she can win. If she gets one and she's in the last 3, do you want to be taking 2.10?
That's the question. That's the question. The other question you need to come up with an answer for is if she is doing things behind the scenes like Amelia's Jewel was doing 12 months ago, and that's what Simon Miller is saying. Like she's galloping with horses outside her own age group because she's blowing up his 2-year-olds. How much weight do you put in that?
Well, you have to put a lot of weight. And
Correct.
the yards flying with the 2-year-olds as well. So I think at 2.10, we'll get to the betting strategy very shortly, but at 2.10, if she wins, I'll lose, but I'm not saying she can't win. She can obviously win, and if she does win from where she's drawn and how the race is likely to set up, Karrakatta plate betting, she may start $1.70.
She's a big, strong girl. Like she tipped the scales in excess of 500 kilos looking at her, you would think. So maybe a horse like her, and she hasn't shown... Certainly at her most recent, she didn't show blinding speed. They went pretty hard early in that race. That was over 1,000. Now she gets to 11. But you would think with her body shape and her ability to get out of the gates, that's probably not a bad lid for her. It's similar to what Amelia's Jewel was going to experience with her racing pattern in the Karrakatta plate, and we saw how that turned out.
Couple of comments on Chrisanova. The form's been franked last week by Wiley Gill, winning impressively. Steps up to the 1,100 metres. Did a little bit wrong on debut, but still got the job done.
Different days, a week apart, but she ran not far outside the time that Live to Tell produced. I know Live to Tell was throttled down late when winning the Supremacy. She's a high-speed filly. She's quick. She's got the gait. She's had the benefit of race experience, and she gets the crossover noseband on to hopefully help her settle a little bit, and she'll need to run out a strong 1,100 metres.
Super Smink was a brilliant winner of the 2-year-old Magic Millions race there at Pinjarra in February. She looks very professional. From gate number 7, probably settles midfield and gets one crack at them.
Exactly, and her 2 runs to date, how can you fault them? They've been outstanding. The debut run was enormous, and then she appreciated that really solid tempo down there at Pinjarra on Magic Millions Day, and she had to fight off a courageous Snow Prince, it must be said, but they did have a fair margin on the 3rd horse.
We haven't even touched on Platinum Shot, who was very good last start, and Brave Strike, who sat 3 wide on debut and got the job done. That's the quality of field we have in the GIMCRACK Stakes this year. How do we make money?
Look, I'll just go Live to Tell. I wanted to go a little bit her, and I wanted to go Augment. Interestingly, what price she gets to, she's on the drift already, Live to Tell. I think she was the beneficiary, TC, of when the nominations dropped and she drew 16 of 16, I think it was. You thought, oh, that's ugly. All of a sudden, it's 13 of 13. That's manageable for a horse with a really short, sharp turn of foot, and has shown that she can do some work and sustain or absorb some pressure mid-race, which she did do in the Supremacy. So I'll go her, Live to Tell, $50 on her.
I'm going to go $25 Super Smink and $25 Augment. If Augment is able to hold up on the back of the leader, hopefully from a betting point of view, she'll have 5 lengths start on Live to Tell, and hopefully she can hold off that galloper. Just thinking they might be a touch easy on Live to Tell with the grand final still 2 weeks away, so they won't be trying to give her too much of a gut buster, but conceding she might very well clearly be the best horse in the race. Now, Roma Cup Day, the feature. Race number 8 on the program comes up at 15 minutes to 5. The Group 3 Roma Cup. Amelia's Jewel, $2.60. Red Can Man at $6. Bustler met with early support at $10. Rev It Up at $10. And Comfort Me at $11. The top 5 in the market as we record. Speed map wise, I had Rev It Up on top. Does she lead?
I thought she would lead, yes, and I think she'll have a horse like Acromantula for company. Now, whether he's able to get to Wait for Age, Breeze and win over 1,100 metres, that is another question. The market says he's a live top 3, top 5 hope, but he's going as well as he ever has, this horse, and it's a wonderful opportunity for Michael Poy to make a bit of a statement as he looks to make WA his home.
Up to 1,100 metres. Red Can Man will be all over the speed. Maybe Parks just behind the leader from that soft draw. Resort Man, Comfort Me, other fancies in the market likely to settle midfield. Amelia's Jewel, I thought maybe just behind midfield. Probably best case scenario, she's 3 back the fence.
I think so, yeah, 3 back the fence. If she can land there first up over 1,100 metres, that will serve her well. There's good tempo in the race. Pat Carberry's going to have to give her a peach to get her home, but he's done it many times before, and he's done it before on this filly.
She's a Group 1 Northerly winner over the 1,800 metres the last time we saw her on race day, that being Amelia's Jewel. Talk us through her trial and her prospects in this race.
Yeah, trial was good, and look, Simon's been adamant all the way through that if you give him this horse and aim her up at an 11 and a 1,200 metre assignment, he will get the best out of her. He's very confident that she's on track. She wore blinkers in that trial. She won't wear them on Saturday, but she's got the gate to get a soft run behind a good tempo, and I think that's going to be telling late.
Red Can Man was very good first up in a Rock Magic over the unsuitable 1,000 metres. Steps up to the 1,100. It's a very tough horse to knock. He'll get a beautiful run. He'll give 100%. He'll be there. He'll be trying to hold off the challengers. He'll be in front at some stage.
I think so, yeah. He's tough. He's second up. Interestingly, Steve Wolf said this morning on the Sports Daily, maybe the 1,100 is a little bit too short for him. I found that surprising, given what Red Can Man has been able to produce before. Out and out, he's a star. He's a ripper. He's proven at Wait for Age. He's proven in this grade he can absorb pressure, and he's got the gate to stalk the speed. He's a knockout hope, as silly as that sounds. I know he's $6, but it wouldn't be a shock if Red Can Man won on Saturday.
No, absolutely not. 3 starts ago over the 1,100 metres in the Group 3 Colonel Reeves. He was beaten less than a length. This will test you. She ran third in a winner bottom.
Exactly right. Exactly, and he had no luck in that winner bottom. He drew wide, went forward. It was a hard watch, but I don't think it was anyone's fault.
No, exactly right. Bustler first up, drawn gate number 13. He's going to have to give some of his main competitors a head start and run them down. I thought, if you're after a comment on the trial, I thought it was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad.
No, I think that's fair. I thought it was a solid trial. It was a pass mark. He'll need to have elevated or certainly come forward from there. And the question from that gate is how far off them is he going to be turning for home?
Pretty long way, I think.
I think so. Rev It Up looks like she'll jump and run. Like she did so in the trial. That's her best asset. The old saying, let a fast horse run fast. And I dare say that Brad Parnham will cut the ribbons on Rev It Up approaching the corner and try to get a march on her opposition. And if that's the case, there's going to be a few here that are going to be spotting the leaders, several lengths turning for home.
Can you make a case for either Rev It Up, Comfort Me, Resort Man, or anything else in the field?
I can make a case for a Resort Man. Talking about horses proven at Wait for Age, he's one of them. Trial was really good. We spoke to Michael Lane earlier this week. He's really bullish about Resort Man's prospects on Saturday. He's chasing a quokka slot, so I dare say Resort Man is going to be wound up sufficiently to go there on Saturday and run well. Again, gets a lovely gate. Brad Rawiller knows the horse. He links up with him again. It wouldn't be a shock if Resort Man proved to be a bit of a spoil sport as well to some of the favourite punters.
How are you betting in the Roma Cup?
Look, I think Amelia's Jewel is the best horse in the race. Therefore, she's getting the larger percentage of my investment here. So I'll have $30 on Amelia's Jewel to win, but I'm also going to have $10 on two gnarly geldings in Resort Man and Red Can Man. One at the moment as we sit here, Red Can Man's $6, Resort Man's $12. I think Comfort Me will run well, but I'm $30 Amelia's Jewel, $10 each on Red Can Man and Resort Man.
I am with $30 Red Can Man and $20 on Resort Man. Amelia's Jewel, she'll be back on the fence if she's a little bit vulnerable at any stage in a 2-run campaign this time in. It might be first up with Paddy trying to weave through traffic. Hopefully, for my betting strategy anyway, Red Can Man's off and gone and she flashes late for everyone following her in the quokka. She can clearly win, but I thought there might just be a little bit more value elsewhere.
If she doesn't win, what would you want to see from her if you were playing her in the futures with tab touch for the quokka?
Just hitting the line.
Yeah, yep.
And I think she'll do that.
Exactly right. I think you're spot on.
I don't think there's any worries. The only way she's not going to hit the line is if she's running up backsides.
Okay, so we've touched on a few there, and the ones that we haven't touched, is there one outside what we haven't touched on who could deliver a knockout blow?
Oh, I'd be surprised. Acromantula in very good form. I thought the gate was tricky, 1,100 metres. He's going to have to work awfully hard to get outside the leader for mine. Baby Paris, how well she's going. Massimo probably just short of his best. Probably in the same boat. Star Trade, Halatorian, is he up to this grade? Was my question mark.
Comfort Me? Any?
I thought the 1,100 maybe just on the shorter sides. He's a horse that likes to get rolling and can hold a sprint for a long, sustained period of time. Over the 1,100 metres, is he going to have the change-up speed to go with ease when the sprint goes on?
Yeah,
that was my question.
Yeah, and it'll be a genuinely run 1,100 metres, as you'd expect. It's a great race, really good race. Can't wait.
Absolutely. That's the Roma Cup. That's a look at the 3 features here on the Sports Daily. The early look races 6, 7 and 8 at Ascot on Saturday. Come back next week for the WA Derby look.